Hello you lovely lot and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mahsa and I make videos all about books and business and lifestyle, so if that sounds like your kind of thing, then hit the subscribe button. So today we are going to be doing my June TBR. I am very much like a mood reader, so it sort of is going to just be what I feel like reading, but these are the ones that I'm hoping to get to soon, so let's get into it. Okay, so we are going to start with 3 books that are from the same book series, which I will assume that everyone is sick of me talking about at this point because it's been so long. Like, I have been trying to read this book series for so long that it's getting ridiculous, and quite frankly it's getting a little bit out of hand. So I'm very determined to get through these books as soon as possible, so I'm hoping to definitely read these this month. Well, June, next month. So these 3 books are The Assassin's Blade, we have The Heir of Fire, and we also have The Queen of Shadows. All 3 books by Sarah J. Maas, and all 3 are in the Throne of Glass series. So if you don't know, the Throne of Glass series is about a girl called Selena who is a notorious assassin in the city of Adalin, and she is captured and taken to the mines to work basically as a slave. While she's there, and she's been there a while, the prince shows up and wants her to be his champion in this big competition sort of thing that has taken place to find the king's next assassin. So she agrees to this and the series sort of starts from there. I can't tell you anything else because everything else will be spoilers. So this one, The Assassin's Blade, is actually a prequel sort of thing. So I think there's 3 stories, I believe. Let me just check dead quick. So apparently there's 5 stories, so they're like novellas sort of thing, and it's a prequel, so this is all before she was captured. So I assume it'll tell us more about how she was captured and that kind of thing. I started this a little while ago and I read the first story, which I really enjoyed. So I think I might go back and reread that and then read the whole book in one go. So we have this one. I think you're supposed to read this between the 2nd book in the series and the 3rd book in the series, which is what I'm currently doing. So this needs to get read. And then we have The Heir of Fire, which is the 3rd book. And then hopefully, because these are like quite chunky books, but I'm still really hoping that I will be able to finish Heir of Fire and finish The Queen of Shadows as well. These are chunky books. How many pages is this? About 640. Yeah, about 640, 645. So these are like chunky books, but I'm really hoping to get through them because it's ridiculous that I still don't know how the series ends. It's ridiculous that I'm only 2 books into it. So we will be reading these, and I will be doing reading vlogs for this because I've done reading vlogs for the other books in the series, which I will link up here for you guys in case you want to see my reactions to book 1 and book 2. I read book 2 while I was on holiday, so it's like in a holiday vlog kind of thing. There are spoilers in both those videos just in case you're going to watch them. The next book that I want to read in June is very much like summer romance vibes, and that is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I think this is sort of loosely inspired by Schitt's Creek. So here we sort of have like the Alexis character, and we have Mutt. So this is going to be really fun, and I'm really excited to read this because it's been on my TBR for a good while. And nothing says summer like a very summery sort of romance book. So this book is about Piper, who is like an influencer, like socialite, and after a very wild and out of control rooftop party, she is basically, I think, thrown into jail for a little while, at which point her stepdad cuts her off and sends her and her sister to run their late father's dive bar in Westport, Virginia. So like a tiny small town, I'm assuming. While she's there, she meets the bearded sea captain Brendan, and he doesn't think that she will last a week out of Beverly Hills. So I think that's where romance ensues, I'm I'm going to assume it sounds really cute. I really enjoy stories that are like about like small towns, or like mostly TV shows. I really enjoy like city girl in a small town, so like Schitt's Creek and like Heart of Dixie. If anyone remembers that, like hit me up in the comments, because Heart of Dixie was the cutest thing and I loved it. So if this can give me Heart of Dixie and like Schitt's Creek vibes, then I am very there for it. The next book that I'm hoping to get to in June is Final Offer by Lauren Asher. This is the third book in the Dreamland Billionaire series, which is a series about three brothers, and the grandfather basically started what is similar to Disneyland, I'm assuming. That's what it's supposed to be, like a big Disneyland resort sort of thing. The grandfather has died and he has left tasks for each of the grandsons that they have to complete in order to get their inheritance. So we had the first book, which was the fine print, the second book, which was terms and conditions, and this is the third and what I think is the final book, which will be following Cal. So I believe that this is a second chance romance book. Each of them have been slightly different romance tropes, and I think this is a second chance romance. So before he can get his inheritance, Cal has to spend a summer at the lake house, which they used to go to all the time. However, he has promised never to go back there because 6 years ago he broke the heart of his childhood friend and the only person he has ever loved, thus making a promise never to go back. So this is a very difficult task for him, presumably. He has to go back and spend a summer at the lake house, and that would be fair enough, except that when he gets there, he realizes that Alana, who is the girl whose heart he broke, lives at that house. Not only that, but she also claims that she owns the house. I don't know how I feel about second chance romances. I don't really think I've read second chance romances before, so I'm intrigued to see how I get on with this. I really liked the first book. I loved the second book. I think the second book was my favorite. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to get on. I'm excited to see if the characters from book 1 and book 2 show up at any point, and I'm excited to see how this is going to end. So yeah, very excited for this one. So the next two books on this list are on here because it's occurred to me that I have an obscene amount of fairy loot books that I just straight up haven't read. So I changed the way that I've organized my bookshelves a couple of months ago now, where I don't have the spines facing out, I have the edges facing out for books that I haven't read, and the books that I have read have the spines facing outwards. There's a whole video about it, which I will link for you guys in case anyone wants to check that out as well. So it occurred to me when I have two full rows of books, of fairy loot books, which all have the sprayed edge side out. Yes, it's sprayed edges, and yes, it's very nice to look at, but it's ridiculous that I have so many that I just straight up haven't read. So we are going to rectify that by reading some of the books we got from Fairy Loot. First up, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I'm aware that this is not the Fairy Loot edition, but for some reason I have two editions of it. So this is just like the normal, I think, Waterstones edition. So this is very popular, to be honest. The second book is out, and I think the third one has just been announced. So it is the start of a series, and it sounds really cute. So this is about a girl called Evangeline Fox, who for as long as anyone can remember has believed in happily ever afters. That is until she finds out that the love of her life is going to marry someone else. In an attempt to stop that from happening, she makes a deal with the Prince of Hearts, I believe? Yes, so she makes a deal with the Prince of Hearts, who is a very charismatic but also very wicked. And he agrees to help her in exchange for 3 kisses, which he can collect pretty much at any time or place that he chooses. So after the first promised kiss, she realizes that maybe making a deal with an immortal was not such a good idea, and that maybe the Prince of Hearts wants more from her than she originally pledged. So this sounds really cute. Like, the art is really cute. The map at the start of it, which I'll show you guys, it just, like, it seems like a really fun fairyland sort of world, which I'm really excited to get into. Also, I can't really figure out if the romance part of this is going to be with the Prince of Hearts or the person that is the love of her life. So I'm just like, what is going on? Do we have like a love triangle? Like, what is this book actually going to be? I'm very excited about it. I really want to get to this very, very soon, because if I like this, then I want to get the second book in the hardback version, and I need to do that very soon because the paperback comes out, I think, at the start of June. So I need to order the hardback before the paperback comes out, and the hardbacks are no longer available. Do you see my problem? So I really need to read this like ASAP. So our last book is again Fairy Loot, and it is this absolutely stunning edition of Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. This edition is so beautiful. Look at these sprayed edges. It's absolutely gorgeous. Did I pick it because it looks relatively short? Yes, I did. Do I care? No, I don't. So this is about Emily Wilde, who is very studious. She is amazing at researching. She's basically a genius. And she is writing the world's first encyclopedia of fairy lore. She's amazing at all the academic stuff. She's not so good with people, which, like, same girl, same. So she goes off to this little town to research the book and write the book, and she just is not interested in getting to know the townspeople or getting to know Wendell Brambleby. Wendell Brambleby. I have been struggling to say this character's name for so long now that it's just going to be Wendell Brambleby, and if it's wrong, then I don't care. So she just absolutely is not interested in Wendell Brambleby, who just so happens the extremely handsome academic rival that she has. Do you see where this is going? Because I do. So in this book, she gets very close to discovering the secrets of the Hidden Ones, which happen to be the most elusive of all fairies. But in trying to uncover those secrets, she stumbles onto another mystery. And that mystery is, who on earth is Wendell really? And in trying to find that out, she basically has to first figure out her own heart, bless her. So I think this is going to be a really, really cute enemies to lovers story. I am so excited for all the fairy lore that we're gonna get. I think it sounds so adorable. It seems like a very like quick short read, and from what I've heard, people have enjoyed it. So I'm hoping it's going to be really sweet. I'm just so excited for it. She has a dog. Like, I don't know what more I could possibly want from a book. Like, she hates people and she loves dogs. Count me in. And they are all of the books that I'm hoping to read in June, so fingers crossed for me. Have you read any of these books? What do you think? Do you think that I should prioritize any over the others? If you do, then let me know in the comments below. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to. I'm going to be doing reading vlogs and more book content, as well as small business stuff, and I'm just going to drop a hint that there may or may not be some crossover coming up in the book and business stuff, and that's all I'm going to say. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, hit the subscribe button, give this video a big ol' thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time for another video. Bye!